Today we're going to be talking about the Kelly-Hopkinsville alien encounter. This is actually a real life story that happened a long time ago, and it's a true life story of people who experience aliens in their farmhouse. So in the middle of the night, a family stayed in their farmhouse because they actually live very far away from town, and then they live close to their farm. So they were pretty far away from town at this point in time. When in the middle of the night, they were all sleeping peacefully as they used to regularly, and then suddenly, boom, in the window, they could see very bright lights, and then on top of that, so they were hearing very loud strange noises. And this is something that they were not used to, because nobody visits this area usually. People don't come to this place. It's just them and their farm, and then they have their cars to go to town whenever they want to. So this, in the middle of the night, suddenly these bright lights just started shining all over the room through the window where they were sleeping, and on top of that they were hearing loud noises. And this woke everybody up, because it was a very, very shocking thing to happen at that point in time in the middle of the night. So everybody woke up, and then they went close to their window to try and figure out whatever was going on outside, wherever these bright strange lights were coming out from, wherever these strange noises that they've never heard before were coming out from. And then one of them went close to the window to check it out, and then boom, a strange creature popped out of nowhere through the window. This strange creature had a very round shaped head, and then had like very pointy bat-like ears, and very, very big round eyes, looking like a goblin. Like a goblin. If you watch Lord of the Rings, that strange creature that says "my precious," that very strange creature, were looking very much like his, but with very, very separate body, like as if he had a metallic skin, making these strange noises and then showing up on every window of his house. So the family got up, and then, because they were very, very scared, they would never seen this kind of creatures before, they got up and then went to the door to try and leave the house, but they couldn't, because one creature was already showing up on the house, because they had glass that they could see through. And then all of them snuck back into the room, and then went back to the back door, and then went out of the house through the back door. And then on their way out, they could notice that their neighbors too were having the same experience, and then they saw that their neighbor was rushing out of the house too. So they all entered into the van, and then they drove out of the place straight up to the police station. And then when they got to the police station, they were visibly shaking, because this was a very scary encounter. They had never seen these creatures before. They've never heard such noises before, and then they've never been sleeping in the night, and then suddenly start seeing bright lights popping out of every window in their house. So they were very visibly shaking. And then when they got to the police station, and then they told the officer that was there, the officer could notice that this family were visibly shaking. They were scared. They were visibly scared of whatever they had just encountered. And so their story was kind of believable to the officer, and then decided to go back with them to their farmhouse with 20 additional officers. So when they got to this house, they could also hear the strange noises that this family had been talking about. They could also see the bright lights shining from every corner of the window. And then they went out to investigate whatever was causing this strange phenomena that was happening around the area. And then when they went outside, what they saw was very shocking to them. They could see very, very short creatures that didn't go up to 3 feet tall, with big round eyes, and then silvery metallic body with short legs and then long hands. Like, creature I described, creature from Lord of the Rings, that weird creature that was very, very obsessed with the rings. They were very, very much alike, because from photos I've seen and the images I've seen across the internet, that is what these creatures look like. Yeah, that like literally identical to these creatures. So that's what the police officers saw. And then they started shooting at the creatures, and as they were shooting at the creatures seemed to just hover away, because their legs were almost not functional. So they hovered away, they hovered out of the environment, and then before you know it, everyone was quiet. They stopped hearing the string noises, they stopped seeing the bright lights, and then everyone was peaceful again. So this story actually kind of seems fake, but because of the dozens of eyewitnesses that came up to testify about this story, it's something that nobody can just dismiss, because there were a lot of people. There were almost 20 people who had this experience, people living in the farmhouse and the people living far away from the farmhouse. They all testified to seeing these bright lights and then hearing these string noises. Even the police officers too, they were eyewitnesses in this condition, because they saw these creatures by themselves firsthand. They saw these creatures, and so this case has been recorded as the Kelly-Hopkinsville goblin case. So you can check about it on the internet, you can browse about it. You see pretty much the same thing I'm telling you. So it's a very, very real life proof that aliens exist. You can also let me know what you think in the comments. So if you enjoyed this content, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel, so that other people can see that this channel exists, people that are interested in this kind of stories. Obviously, this will really help the channel boost the algorithm places, if that ever makes any sense. Be sure to have a great day.